Happy Home at Hour. We appreciate your patience waiting to make it a day with us in this media edition. Of course, all over the world, we have a lot of problems, and our own country is not spared. Like Nigeria of today, we have Boko Haram issue, we have kidnapping here and there, high assassination, armed robbery, even by teenagers, juvenile delinquencies, and corruption. All these things had pervaded this nation to the extent that lives and properties are no more secured. And it's not that government is not trying its best. In different policies, government has attempted to really solve the problem. Even NGOs, here and there, they are all targeting as to how all these things can be solved. And of course, religious organizations are not spared. Churches, mosques, even traditionalists, they are trying their best to make Nigeria to be worth living in. But in spite of all this effort, things are getting worse every day. Hope of having a new Nigeria is being dashed every day. Is there any hope? Why is it that all these policies could not solve our problems in this country?
Really, we have a major problem. The reason is not far-fetched. Basically, I would say all the efforts are focusing on the results, while the root cause is left untouched. If we are to get answers to all these problems, the solution is we go to the root cause, and the root cause is the family. From this condition, we will get the result. It is not easy to be fighting the surface while the root cause is left untouched.
Yes, I agree with you. And I still remember in a mic seminar we conducted of recent, a lady asked a question. She painted the situation of this country. She now asked me a question, that who do I think can solve the problem of the nation? Is it government or religious organizations? And I told her frankly that none of these two organizations can solve Nigeria's problem. Why? Because the problems are being addressed at the result level, not at the resource level. And if anything is to be done to create a new Nigeria, I believe we have to go down to the grassroots or foundation of Nigeria problem, and that is the family. And that is why in this program we are to empower families in this nation, and of course the world at large, as to how individual husband and wives can establish happy home, stable home. And once this is done, I believe we'll be able to do our own part to create a beautiful environment for a better society.
In that regard, in this episode, we would like to show the connection between the families and the nation. It will give us the picture of what is being expected from individual, the father, the mother, the children, and the whole family as a whole, to what is being expected from individual citizens of the nation. And this will help us a lot to go a long way in making our nation a stable and peaceful place.
now let us look at it from this angle. If we really want to handle this matter, you must know what family is vis-a-vis a nation. When we are talking of a nation, every nation is made up of group of families that form that nation. And if we really want to address the issue, we must see each family in a nation as a unit of government. And in this unit of government, we have players, like you have rightly said. You mentioned the father, the mother, and the children. Of course, these three parties, they have their own roles to play so that when we get to the larger society, we can be able to be responsible in whatever we do and build a better nation. Let me take, for example, this of father. When we are talking of husband or the father in a home, we are talking of somebody who is the overall coordinator of a family, the president of the family, the driver of the family, the policy maker of the family, though through the consultation with his wife. Now, if any husband really wants his own home to be stable and peaceful and of course progressive, he must provide a dynamic leadership to his family. And when he provides a dynamic leadership to his family, I believe he will be able to handle issues like issue of providing, managing, and perhaps making sure that the wife is satisfied, the children are satisfied, and all of them, they are able to follow the policy that the family had designed. And everybody must play his own part. There is no one that should be neutral. The wife must play her part. The children must play their part. But if the wife and the children should play their part, the father must give them good leadership, giving them the drive, giving them the morale, giving them the encouragement through his own dynamic leadership, so that everybody will be on his toe to make sure that the family is stable. Now, if a family can be stable under the leadership of the father, such a father, if he's put in any position of responsibility in the nation or in any organization, he can transfer his knowledge and make sure that that place is well organized, because we believe that when we are talking of human management, it's the same either at family level or at perhaps any country level. So it's the same. A man that can manage his family, surely if he becomes a leader in any place, he can surely manage that place successfully. What about the wife?
We cannot leave out the wife, because as we've agreed and we are sure that family is the training ground for individual before we launch into the local level, state level, or even national level. Wife too needs to know how to handle the family funds by being prudent, knowing how to make sure that the children in the family are catered for, food wise, clothing wise, even as they go to their daily activities, even the house chore. Therefore, if a wife cannot manage efficiently the family fund, definitely such a wife will be able to manage the local fund, state fund, or even national fund if put in position of authority.
Yes, that is true. I need to look at marriage from another perspective. Marriage is a relationship. A relationship thrives or grows on trust. And trust is an offshoot of loyalty. This relationship of marriage started on the day that husband and wife were joined together. And from that day, they vowed through the covenant they share either in the church, in the mosque, or anywhere they were joined together, that they will be together, relate together based on certain parameters. And I can say that most of the issues we were addressing in our counseling clinic bordered on disloyalty or infidelity or betrayal of the marriage vows. If husband or wife really want the other party to really trust in him or her, to really move forward with him or her in any area he or she may go, there must be total loyalty to each other and their marriage vows. For example, no matter the situation, none of the husband or wife should really deny the other party, and none of the parties should for any reason betray the confidence that the other one reposed in him. Now, when we look at that area, we need to know that we are not angels. We are bound to make mistakes. You may have weakness one way or the other. We may even offend ourselves. All these things are not good ground for any of the party to really betray the other party. It's not a good ground to now renege in the vows and covenant they have made on the day of wedding. And I can even say, for example, there was a woman that asked a question then when we were telecasting on radio program. The woman called back after the program. She was lamenting that she had been in a relationship for 40 years. She either not trusted her husband, but she woke up one day for the man to tell her that he had gotten another wife with a child somewhere else. She now asked me a pertinent question. How did I think that she would trust that man again? It took me about 30 minutes on phone to persuade her to go back to communication level and make sure that she get back the confidence and the trust she had in him before. I believe if the woman could do what I told her, they could restore back in their part of love. So in the nutshell, if any of the parties should betray the other one, there is bound to be a problem in a family, and such a person can never be trusted in any organization. Let us understand the point. For example, if anyone wants to be placed in the position of authority, any organization, it will be made to swear to oath of secrecy or the oath that will make him to be loyal to the system that employs him. Now, if somebody as husband or wife had not been practicing loyalty to the marriage vows that he or she shared with his or her spouse, how do you think such a man or such a woman can be loyal to his employer or organization that employ him or her? Or if he becomes a leader in the country, how can he uphold the integrity that can make him to be trusted by people? It's not easy. Therefore, a loyal husband, a loyal wife will surely be a loyal leader all over the world.
Goes for the children, because children are not left out in this issue. Children must be obedient at home. They must listen to instruction that is being passed to them by their parents. They must be ready to answer the call of their parents at any point of time. and this makes them to be obedient citizens of the nation. If a child is disobedient at home, definitely such a child cannot be a loyal or obedient child to the nation, cannot be a good citizen to the nation. Therefore, children too must contribute their own quota right from the family level, which is the training ground for each and every one of us, for us to make a peaceful nation.
Lastly, we need to look at the whole setup of a family. Family, particularly in Africa, cannot exist in isolation. We are bound to have visitors in home, either by way of in-laws, relations, friends, or even housemaid or steward, and it still borders on relationship. And this is where the tolerance of the husband, the wife, and the children will be tested. In the first instance, husband and wife must be ready to tolerate each other. As I've earlier said, we have our weak point, we have our own shortcomings, we may even at times offend each other. In as much as we had vowed to live together in harmony, we should be able to tolerate ourselves as husband or wife. Then, coming to children and the parent, we should be able to tolerate our children in whatever way they may behave. Children, they have their own world. Though we are not on the same world level, because our own setup when we were like them, it was not the same thing as what is applicable today. So we need to still come down to their level, tolerate them, and see how we can bring them in to the level that they can do the right thing at the right time and be able to tolerate the way we are handling them. Now, when we now look at the husband, the wife, and the children, in case perhaps there is a person in the house that is helping the family, like either housemaid, houseboy, or any other person, this person must be treated with courtesy, in love, and we should not allow him to see himself as outcast. We should not cheat him. We should not do anything that can make him to feel so bad. So we must incorporate that person into our family system. We have so many families today that they will treat the housemaid, the houseboy, or steward as if they have no home, as if they have no parent. But all these things you need to understand that they too is only by circumstance that they are with us working for us. So we must be able to tolerate whatever they do. If they make mistake, we should correct them in love. Now, coming to in-laws, this is the most critical aspect of testing our tolerance. Most problems in homes are being caused by in-laws, particularly between the wife and her in-laws. Any wife that can tolerate her in-laws and she can live with her in-laws amicably in her family, then such a wife is a wonderful and peaceful wife. And such a wife, if he happens to go to any level anywhere in the world, she can tolerate anybody. She will have the knowledge to handle issues that may even seem contrary to her own opinion. She will be able to tolerate any other person, whatever they feel they may bring to her. So on that note, we believe that every wife must develop this tolerance skill at the home level. The husband too must be able to tolerate perhaps person from his wife's side, or maybe a visitor in the home. They may be discussing politics, economic issues, contemporary issues. Somebody may bring out something that may not even be its own opinion. That does not mean cause to fight or to perhaps have bad mind toward each other. We must know how to handle differences as a father. Difference between us and our wife, between us and the children and the visitors. When we have this, if for any reason tomorrow we become leaders anywhere we are placed, then we will learn how to tolerate others that are under us. and how to deal with opposition amicably, peacefully, without shedding blood, without causing commotion in the system. And overall, we must be able to do this so that we build a better nation that can be worth living in. Of course, this I believe we are planning to do in this program.